So first thing you're going to see is the yellow lights are going to start ahead of time. And that's a warning, like when a light switches at a traffic intersection. Once yellow, then the red. You have to stop for the red, and the stop arm comes out. Bus drivers got to see a kid if they're on the other side of the road, and the child has to see the bus driver, and they can wave them across. People aren't aware that over 50,000 times a day in New York alone, cars pass buses. So the lights are a warning to you, and yellow light's the warning, and red is the stop. And that's when you can be ticketed going by the red lights.
And when somebody does, unfortunately pass by a bus when the lights are out and going, how does that play out if they're, they're found and caught? And how does this play out in, court or with tickets and points and all that sort of stuff?
It's high points, but most of the buses now have cameras, and they capture the license plate. We then get the complaint and a video clip from the school, and then we talk to the registered operator, and if they lent the car to somebody, they tell us, and if they were operating, they tell us. And generally most people say, geez, I thought I could beat it, or I was trying to get to work. Most people are pretty honest about that was them, and they get issued a ticket. We're in the process of trying to implement the project where we can issue a ticket to the vehicle, not the operator, and there would be no points to the vehicle. It's just a fine because you passed the bus, and there would be cameras on the stop arms to show us who's passing. So we're in that process now in the county. We're going to start with Broadalbin-Perth, hopefully, as a pilot. They have buses that go into a city and 5 towns, and towns in the other counties. So the other counties I don't have jurisdiction on, and we're going to just start with our own county in the Broadalbin district for those. So we have targeted enforcement today with our patrols to highlight the day behind the buses, and it's like a DWI target. We want you to be deterred and not do it, so I don't mind telling people we're going to be behind buses today. So double your efforts at being secure. When they see the yellow lights, caution, red lights, stop, and they have to wait until the arm is back to the bus and the lights are off before they can proceed.
And so, I know we touched on this every single story we do when there's school buses involved, but hiring efforts and getting enough drivers, what has that been like here? That's
like everywhere else in this country. Like we've had a hard time getting EMS, police, fire, and now bus drivers. It's a push to try to get more bus drivers, and it's tough because it's not an 8 to 4 job. It's a 6 to 9, and then 11 to 1, and then a 2:30, to 4:30. So it's kind of hard. The school districts are facing many challenges. But there's a lot of openings if you're looking for work, and you can obtain the license and the credentials. They have constant schools around the state, and they even give them locally to get you qualified to be a bus operator.
Here with Deputies Lennon and Reinhardt. Now, sir, we were out and about earlier today, but just tell me about the importance of having a day like this.
Well, bus safety is every day of the school year, but they emphasize it to bring it back out so people can remember school buses, the red lights. Children are crossing over the roadways many times, and if they're not paying attention, it's a very dangerous thing for the children.
And what happens when you pull somebody over when they are passing a school bus that's supposed to be stopped and has its lights out?
Some people tell us they didn't know they're supposed to stop. Other ones, they didn't see the lights, or they just didn't care. And when they get pulled over, they realize they're getting a court ticket and a fee and a fine and points on their license for it.
We had one person who did stop somebody, so just tell me about how that went.
Yeah, so as soon as I made contact with the individual who failed to stop for the stop sign on the bus, he advised me, like Deputy Lennon here said, that he was unaware that he had to stop for the stop sign.
And when we hear stuff like that, and obviously as law enforcement officers, that's common knowledge to you, and people in news, we talk about this all the time, but just talk to me about, just being vigilant and when you see the bus, what you're looking for, and just being a safe driver.
So we all have family, we all have friends, and it's important to stay vigilant when you're driving around, whether it be for the buses, other drivers, kids getting on the bus, and it doesn't have to be just little kids, it could be teenagers too. Everybody's safety is important.
Thank you, Deputy Reinhardt and Lennon, for joining me so early in the morning and being a part of our day. And later on, we'll have a little bit of how that ride along went. But for now, reporting live in Broadalbin, Anthony Krolikowski, News 10 ABC.